What if you and I were to be more like Jesus? And I don't mean in the religious way, because all my Mormon, Muslim, Jehovah's Witness, Buddhist, Christian, all of you friends are welcome. I mean in the way that the reality is Jesus was a man that cared deeply. He was moved by compassion, and he did things radically because he cared about relationship, because he cared about humanity so much. And it doesn't matter what you believe. There are so many proven records that one, he was real, and two, that he rose from the dead. And I'm out here in Thailand. Everything got delayed today for me to not do this episode. And that's why I was like, I need to do this episode. So here I am. Bear with me and thank you so much. So I'm pumped about this episode because I'm actually, like I said, I'm in Thailand right now, and I'm about to do work in one of the darkest areas that I believe possible in the world is human trafficking, sex trafficking. It is dark, and I'll get into, anti-human trafficking, but I'll get into why this matters in a moment. But I spoke at my church a week ago, and it was really to wake people up, mobilize the community, and really get people to a place of, hey, let's not just be people that talk about doing something or talk about the things that we wish to see different in this world, but let's be about it. Let's be those change makers. Let's actually do something. And that's what I feel like the world needs right now, because unfortunately, as we all know, there is so much chaos. There is so much hardship. There are so many things happening that are embarrassing. There are so many things happening that are heartbreaking and really hard to grasp. And there's so much noise. It's hard for people to share what's really on their mind, worried that they're going to get canceled, that they're going to get shot and killed, that they're going to get betrayed, that their family isn't going to speak to them anymore, that they are not going to belong to friends and families. So hear me out when I talk about this. About 16 years ago or so from this episode, I was about 21. I'm 36 now. And I heard this woman talk about the realities of human trafficking in our own backyard. I lived in Seattle at the time. And there was something, no, this did not happen to me, but there was something inside of me that was like, this is not okay. And I knew I needed to do something about it. Did I know what to do? No, I did not. But there was a fire inside of me. There was this justice feeling. There was compassion over these people. And it stirred an emotional state in me of, this is wrong. This is not what God would want. This is not what humanity needs. And I need to do something about it. And so I say that, one, because I want to actually ask you, has there ever been something in your own life, your own world, where you have felt something in your heart, in your spirit, just stirring inside of you, either curious or like, man, that is just not okay? Or I want to, or maybe in your own life, you've had something happen to you that is not okay, or you need to bring light upon, or you want to see justice, or you want people to notice or understand, or those that have been through the same thing you now want to help. This is a place where I want you to kind of listen as I share for what your own thing is, because not everybody is like myself. Not everybody is going to be passionate about human trafficking. I understand. I actually don't care what you are passionate about or what you want to do in the world, but I do care that you do something. So anyway, fast forward, I moved to Los Angeles. I'm 21. I'm a hairdresser, fitness coach. I'm living the dream. And one of my goals was to find an organization or way to get involved in helping those affected by human trafficking. So I found this organization. I think by week one, I was determined, hey, I had a vision and I knew that I needed to help. And so I found this organization, and every Friday we would go out on the streets of Los Angeles. Now, get me when I say this, Los Angeles is the place of dreams. It's a city of dreams, right? People go there to live their dreams. That's what I was doing, to be a hairdresser and fitness coach in the celebrity realm. And And at the same time, I was seeing this very dark reality that was on the other side of that glamorous side of what people thought was going on in Los Angeles. So I had to live in that weird tension of, wow, there's beauty all around me. But then, oh my gosh, every Friday I'm out here and there's darkness all around me. And not many people knew that this was going on. It was hard. Even when I would share, nobody really got it. So while we're out there, I'm meeting all these girls and women. They're out there for very different reasons, whether they, built a relationship with a man that then and called them a boyfriend and then, manipulated them emotionally, mentally, financially, and in so many ways, maybe after a year or 2 years or something, grooming them for a while to where they now owned them. Maybe they had their passport and then emotionally they remind them they got them away from their family and close friends to where they had no relationships anymore besides that one person that now owns them. And then they go and sell them off to other people where they're having to have sex with other people 20, 30, 40 times a day. And like I said, there's so many reasons why these people are in this field. Maybe they are there because they have no other options and they have little children that they're trying to feed and somebody gave them a job at a strip club and now that's where they are. And then they work for sex. There's so many different reasons, but I do want to say that it's a very, very, very detailed thing that it involves the whole person, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. It is not just like the movie Taken. When I was growing up, that's what everybody thought that human trafficking was like. Even when I would travel, I thought of that being the case. So fast forward, I remember feeling also like there was more to life. I had now seen a really dark side of the world, and I knew that I needed to help people in a bigger way. And so I ended up taking a backpack and tent. I lived around the world for an entire year with an organization, went to a different country every single month. And every month we did something different, helping with orphanages, teaching English, working with those affected by human trafficking, all the things you can think of. We did. I have crazy, crazy, crazy stories. We won't get into it today, but that led me to go realize that my life was made for more. And it wasn't to be this celebrity hairdresser and fitness coach. Nothing wrong with that, but that's just not the call that was on my life to continue. I knew that there was more that I was created to do. So fast forward again, I'm trying to figure out how to share this story. I start what I now have. It's called Wholeness Journey. And what we do is actually go around to different countries. We build partnerships all over the world. One, because I really believe that there are so many nonprofits, businesses that are doing things on their own. They have their own thing and they're not helping other people. But if you think about it, just like your own body, it's not going to function well without the arm. Your eye is not going to, your body is not going to function well without an ear, without a mouth, without an eye, without a feet, without your liver, your organs. They don't function properly without each other. I believe that the needs in the world and humanity all need each other. And so there may be an organization that is helping with one thing, another organization helps with another thing. And so I believe that the world becomes a better place when we collaborate and when we each have our own unique gifting that we are contributing to society in. So what we do as Wholeness Journey is we partner with organizations and that have created a space for people that have been rescued from human trafficking. So maybe they're teaching them life skills, or they're teaching them, they're giving them a trade, right? So then that way they don't have to do or be in the sex for sale industry. What we do is we come to the organization, to the girls and boys that have been trafficked, and we put on essentially a wellness and empowerment retreat for them. It is a place where they get to learn all about their identity. They learn healing, their own wholeness, purpose, being empowered, and living in community. And so then that way, when they get out of the sex trade and they start having a career, they start, all their next steps, they are able to remember all the things that we taught them and go through like all those topics that I talked to you about, it helps them to not have to go back into the sex trade. Right now, I'm here in Thailand to do that. So I've built a relationship, a partnership with my friend Diana and her nonprofit, Sheer Love, and Free Reign International. And we've been coming out here for, since 2017, but I've been coming out here for probably about 15 years. I think I've been coming out to Thailand for about 15 years now, 15, 16 years. And it is one of the places that I love, like truly love so, so, so much. I feel a huge, huge call here. There is something in, because of the realm of human trafficking and the hard, hard stuff that's really going on, there's actually nowhere else in the world like it than out here. Now, it works very differently. I have a whole guide. My nonprofit Wholeness Journey has a whole guide on human trafficking where we talk about how it happens in the US and places in our own backyards and in other countries. But I'm going to share a little bit with you because I want you to be aware of why I'm here right now, why I'm bringing a team, a Wholeness Journey team out here this week, and what we're going to be doing. So out here, there's this one street, by the way, there's probably about 3,000 women that are being sold for sex every single day. Okay. And these ladies, they're wearing, think about lingerie, like booty, undies and corset type stuff and bikini looking things. Now they are made to wear that because they are owned by a brothel. They call them bars, but it's not just a normal bar. They are owned by somebody that runs it, which is a lot of times a woman, a mama-san, a woman usually that runs it. There are men that run it too. There's different mafia and different people that actually control all of this. But the crazy thing is there are 3,000 women being sold for sex every day. And a lot of it, you walk down and it's kind of like, if you think about Vegas, it's like Vegas times 100. And then you go down this other street and there are sex menus everywhere. They're just, it doesn't matter if you're a kid, if you're an adult, whoever you are, they're just stuffing these menus in your face and asking, what do you want? Because you can basically get whatever the heck you want out here. By the way, I'm not telling you this because I want you to come and experience this for yourself to get whatever you want. I'm just telling you the reality of what happens out here and how open it is, how visual it is, and how in a lot of places it's actually hidden. So, and I'm not going to get into all of the hidden places today, even your own backyard where you live. There's a lot of things that are happening that are really, really, really crazy to think is happening. That's really dark. That's really intense. But I'm sharing with you about Thailand right now and where I am, where we take our teams is the number one place for sex tourism in the world. So no joke, this is crazy, but there are buses, massive buses of people that come out here to go on these tours, to go on these sex tours. They come as businesses and they come as family and friends to have fun and go and do whatever is pleasurable out here. And I will tell you, and a lot of the people that I talk to, because you better believe that I talk to a lot of the guys that are coming out here to purchase sex, and I talk to them about why they're out here. I will just tell you one thing is I used to get so angry at all the men because you look around and probably 90% of the people that are out there are there for buying sex, or they've moved out there. They, met some girls that are lonely in their life. And what I will tell you is I used to get so angry, and now I have empathy and I have compassion because what I've learned is that something happened in their life to where they're so broken and lonely. You don't wake up one morning thinking, I'm going to go purchase people, or I'm going to go, buy a woman for sex, or I'm going to go fill all my pleasures and not care about another human. You don't wake up that way. There's something that happens to you that biologically, that physically, that mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it starts to shift you. So usually I have talked to men and I get to actually understand their story, or I understand where they come from. I understand what's happened to them. I understand what they're dealing with right now, and this is why they're doing it. So I will say, if you have ever done that before too, no shame, no guilt. And I ask you to deal with your own traumas. And because let's put it all real, hurt people, and healed people heal people. And so I believe that if you start with yourself and you're able to work through your own healing, then you're not going to go and hurt other people. I've also, well, I mean, we're all human, so we're going to hurt people, but not intentionally in that way. So the women and even boys that have been trafficked or sexually exploited or having sex for sale, a lot of people will negotiate and tell me that they actually want to be there. Nobody wants to be there. Okay. Even some of the girls that I sit and talk with, I mean, they'll laugh it off and say, this is the best job in the world. Who doesn't want to have great sex and get paid for it? Right. No, they are broken. They have something that they are trying to fill. They are trying to fill a need. Like, they may not have any options. Maybe they don't have any education, can't get a job anywhere else. Maybe their family sent them because they're the only one from a tiny village that has absolutely no money. And if they don't go, then their whole family starves. And so then they feel the guilt and the shame of helping their family. It is a savior complex where they're like, if I don't do this, then this is going to help. I mean, my family is going to go under. And any of you guys with children, I'm sure you can think of, I will do anything for my child. Now, if your child is starving, or your child is going to die, or you have no other options, I don't know. Like, maybe this would be something that you would do because you have no other options. If you don't know your worth, if you don't have any other options, if you don't have education, if you don't have good people around you, if you don't have community, you see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different reasons of why these girls and boys have ended up there. And I have also met people from other countries. There are people that will go to other countries and tell them that they have an amazing opportunity for them, tell them that they have everything figured out for them. All they have to do is show up, or all they have to do is, whatever, like, get there, pay the fee, a small fee, or the flight, or something small. And or they will pay everything for them. And once they start working, then they're going to owe them the money. There's so many different ways that this can go. But then once they get there, then they realize that they had just been trafficked, that they did not go there for the job that they thought. And now they're trapped. They're trapped because they have their passport. They're trapped because they owe them so much debt. They say, we brought you out here, you now owe us. So there's mental manipulation, emotional manipulation, physical abuse. Like, you have no other options. You can't tell anybody. And then there's also some guilt and shame there of telling your family the actual reality. Maybe there's harm that could be done to your family, and or just complete shame if you tell them what's really going on, because you were their only hope to be able to go out there and make ends meet for them. So I know people that they have been trafficked from another country, got rescued, have gone back, but nobody knows. Nobody knows. Their whole family doesn't know. They just thought that they were working the entire time. And there's so many incredibly hard stories. I have some friends out here that I've known for years. The cool thing is that they have chosen to get out. Not easy, right? It's not an easy choice to be unsure of what's going to come, because all you know is people that you can't trust. They tell you that you have an opportunity, and then you don't really have an opportunity and you're stuck. So they make a choice to trust over here and get a good opportunity, but they also don't know if that's going to work either, if they can trust. So they're in this place of taking, just having a crazy amount of courage to keep going, to keep trying, because it's really easy to lose yourself and to lose faith when you're in this sort of process. And for me, it's been so incredible to come out here and to be able to put on these healing retreats and all these workshops, because we create a safe space where these girls, boys, women, and men may have never been able to talk about what's really happened in their life. Or if, like out here in Thailand, at least, you want to show your face like everything's okay. So you don't talk about anything that's like really real and deep. So for them to share for the first time of what they've been through, how they felt, how it's impacted them, and then tears just happening and hugs and just being with one another, it has been so life-changing to see, because they have all this freedom. Them sharing their stories and through art therapy or through movement, being able to learn to love themselves, to know that their life and their future is not what happened to them. It does not create who they are, that they are worthy no matter what has happened or no matter what they've done or what they've been involved in or what they didn't do. And that they can have a free life, a life of freedom, a life of hope, a life of purpose. And it's so fun to watch them giggle and laugh and give us hugs and give each other hugs. And there was one story, one of the guys I adore, and he's now one of the educators there. He said to me one time when I asked him, did you ever think about going back on the streets and selling yourself? And he said, oh yeah, of course. It was a really hard time financially. And I just figured, maybe it would just be easier if I went back. And then he told me, he said, but then I remembered what your team taught me. And I keep remembering that I am worthy, that I am worthy, that I am worthy. He said, and then I never went back. And he said it in such a simple way that made me think, wow, this is so profound that he could have gone back. He wasn't chained. He wasn't chained to anything. He freely, he went through these programs. He went through a lot of his healing process, and he really could have gone back. But then he remembered us coming, and he remembered what we had taught him and what he was learning and what he got down into his identity, that he is so incredibly loved and so incredibly worthy, that he has a choice and he has a future and an opportunity and to help others. Now he's an educator for the people that have gotten out of the sex for sale industry, and it's just amazing. So stories like that keep me going. And there's even more stories, but that's one that really stood out to me and that I want you guys to be reminded of. And just a big thing for you is you don't need to do what I do. You don't need to come out here to Thailand, go on these crazy streets that are really dark, to see things that honestly I wish I have never seen before. But at the same time, now that I've seen them, I can't turn my head. I have to do something about it. But I want you to think about in your own life, where is it that you are called to go and do something? Because we have way too many people talking about what's going wrong in the world, or talking about what they don't like or who they don't like or what people need to be doing. We have too many people not talking because of different beliefs. And we need more people to do something about it. We need more people to not talk about it, but be about it. And we need more people to be like Jesus. And this is where it comes back to what I was saying from the beginning, not in a religious way. The religious people actually did not like Jesus because he was radical. He was moved by compassion. He had mercy for people. He was a man of justice, and he felt the need and knew his calling was to bring healing to the world. And he didn't care if the religious people said not to do miracles or heal people on the Sabbath. He was like, any day I'm going to do that. I'm not going to follow these rules. And so if we could be more like Jesus, where we will go out and be moved with compassion and do something about it rather than just sit around and talk about all the things, this world would be a better place. So my goal here is to activate you in some way. It's to get you to think, what is it that you are created to do? What maybe stirs in your heart how when I heard about human trafficking for the very first time, I knew that I needed to do something. I didn't just talk about it. I didn't just say how horrible that was or how sad that was or wish that somebody else was doing something or say that I know what they're supposed to do, but I'm not doing anything. I actually, the week that I moved to Los Angeles is when I got involved. And I was 20, 21 years old. So there's never too young. It can happen right now. Think about your own story, what you've been through. Think about the people that you really have compassion for. Think about the things that get you angry, like that righteous anger, that what I'm talking about. Think about the hardships that you see in the world or something you have experienced yourself that you never want anybody to go through, or the things that you have been able to receive that you wish everybody had. What is it? What are those things? And then I ask you, what can you do about it? What is in your own backyard? What can you sign up for? How can you volunteer? How can you start a business with a purpose? How can you start a nonprofit? How can you partner with somebody else rather than having your own thing be your own thing? How can you do like what I'm doing and partner with so many different people and organizations and businesses to actually make this world a better place? So once again, this is also not a place to just tell you all the good that I'm doing or what my organization is doing, but to be an example, because I just believe that you can't take people places that you've never gone before. And I can tell you firmly that I know what it's like to be boots on the ground. I know what it's like to show up and be completely terrified. I know what it's like to not know what the heck I'm doing, but say yes anyway, but show up anyway. I know what it's like to be, to feel heartbroken and terrified and hurt and still be moved by compassion and keep going. And I know what it's like to burn out. I know what it's like to not take care of myself. And on the other hand, I do know what it's like to take care of myself and to not burn out, because I have now learned that in order for me to help anybody else, I have to lead myself well. So how can you lead yourself well in this day and age? How can you take care of yourself? How can you come from the overflow? So that way you treat your family well. So that way you help others well. So that way you lead your teams well. And then how can you be giving to people in need? Maybe they're in need maybe you're just one step ahead of somebody. Maybe it's not that you're a million miles away. So do something. And I promise you, your life will be so much more fulfilled. We are created as humans to give. We are created as humans to connect. We need to connect. We need to give. We need to receive. These are what we are created for. And so this world needs you to step up. This world needs you to rise up. The world needs you to do something and to be about something, to care about something and not just talk about it. So I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how this episode inspired you, but not just inspired you to not do anything, but inspired you into some sort of action. I would love to hear what you're passionate about, what you care about. If you don't know, well, reach out to me. I do coaching on this. If you do know and you want to start a business or a nonprofit that is created with impact in mind and purpose, contact me because I coach about it. If you want to start volunteering, great. I have tons of opportunities and tons of ways for you to get involved and connected. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you liked it, please share it. Please leave a review over on Apple Podcasts. You can find us, well, you just listen to the podcast, but please just leave a review all over the place, because this helps us get this story and so many more out to more people. I love you guys. Go be a world changer and see you on the next episode.